Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Daily English Voices, the calm corner of your day, where language practice and life practice meet. As you press play, I invite you to slow your breath and soften your shoulders. This is not background noise, and it's not another pep talk that evaporates the moment the screen goes dark. This is a guided evening, a gentle, deliberate path from the chaos of the day to the clarity of night where your English grows and your life gathers itself into order. If you are listening now, you have already made a brave decision to treat your evening as something sacred, not as leftovers after a long day, not as a place to collapse and forget, but as a doorway to the future you actually want. Think for a moment about what typically happens after sunset. For many people, the mind keeps racing while the body is exhausted. The fingers know the path to every distracting app. The eyes search for anything that will interrupt uncomfortable thoughts. Minutes become an hour becomes two, and the night vanishes into a blur of bright screens and small jolts of dopamine. Sleep arrives too late and too shallow, and the next morning begins already in deficit. None of this is a moral failure. It is simply what happens when we try to go from the speed of work to the speed of rest without passing through the gate of reset. In this episode, we are going to walk through that gate together. We will create an evening that feels whole, an evening that returns your attention to you, an evening that makes language practice easy because your mind finally has room to hold what you hear. Begin where all sustainable change begins, with a simple reset. Picture your brain like a phone with a dozen apps still running messages, maps, music, a half written email. You would never expect the battery to last if nothing is closed. In the same way, the mind cannot settle if it is still carrying the open loops of the day. So, sit down for 2 quiet minutes and ask yourself, what is still running in my head? Say it out loud or write it down. Unfinished tasks, awkward moments, small anxieties that keep tapping your shoulder, let them land on paper. They don't disappear, but they stop roaming through your attention. That piece of paper is a holding place for tomorrow. Your brain is not a storage unit. It is a creative studio, and studios need clear tables. When you close those loops, even imperfectly, your nervous system receives a message it has been waiting for. We are no longer on alert. We will continue in the morning. For now, we rest. With the mental noise softened, look gently at your emotional landscape. The day may have scratched you. Perhaps someone spoke sharply, or you made a mistake you're still replaying. Perhaps nothing dramatic happened, but a steady drizzle of small frustrations soaked your energy. If you carry that weight to bed, your body will try to sleep in armor. Instead, give yourself 5 compassionate minutes. Name what hurt. I felt unseen in that meeting. I was tired and snapped at someone I love. I felt fear when I checked my bank account. You are not writing a report for judgment. You are offering your inner world a place to breathe. And then, with a voice that is firm and kind, say, I release this day. I forgive what can be forgiven. I will learn from what must be learned. For tonight, I lay it down. The first time you say it, it may feel unusual, like knocking on a door you've ignored for years. The second time, your jaw unclenches. The third time, your chest loosens. You cannot rest a mind you are still fighting. Compassion is not indulgence, it is maintenance. Now lift your eyes to the physical space around you. The surfaces we live with speak to the nervous system in a language older than words. Mess murmurs, hurry, clutter whispers, chaos. Order says, safe. You do not need to clean the house. You only need to bring one small area back to calm. Clear the desk where you will read. Fold the blanket on the chair where you will breathe. Gather the cups, return the pen, make a small place ready for your evening self. This tiny act is not trivial, it is a signal. Your environment tells your brain what kind of mind to become. A tidy corner says, "We are not in survival mode anymore." Your thoughts line up. Your attention stops scattering. It is astonishing how quickly the body learns to trust you when you care for its surroundings. With your space settled, you turn toward the quiet work of honoring your progress. Some days the evidence is obvious: a task completed, a conversation handled with grace, a workout finished. Other days, the win is simply that you kept going. The world rarely applauds the effort that matters most, the small, steady choices that pull your life forward, so you must do the honoring yourself. Say it aloud because your subconscious believes your voice. Today I moved forward. Perhaps you studied English for 15 focused minutes. Perhaps you chose water over another coffee. Perhaps you paused before replying to a message and found a kinder tone. Celebrate the effort, not only the result. This is not motivational sugar. It is neurological nutrition. You are training your brain to notice and repeat the behaviors that build a life. At this point, the evening opens. You have taken back a little oxygen from the day, and you have a choice. Will you use it to breathe, or will you let a screen inhale it for you? This is where a digital sunset becomes your ally. Choose a time, perhaps an hour before bed, when the screens go dark. At first, your fingers will reach for old habits the way a tongue searches for a missing tooth. That is not failure. That is the past looking for a place to live. Help it move out by preparing something better to reach for. Place a book on the table with a ribbon marking last night's page. Set your notebook open with a single inviting line at the top. What did I learn today? Print a short English dialogue to read aloud and shadow. Put a kettle near the stove for tea. The more you simplify the first step of a good habit, the less willpower it costs to begin. Within a few days, the quiet that felt uncomfortable becomes a luxury. You find yourself hearing your own thinking again. You discover you can read 10 pages without checking a notification, and that 10 pages a night turns into 300 pages a month. Small changes repair your attention, and a repaired attention is a different life. Even with screens off, your mind may try to restart its old playlist of worries. This is where a brief psychological reset helps you cross from thought to rest. Empty the loudest thoughts onto paper. Don't polish them, dump them. Then ask three gentle questions. Is this thought a fact or a fear? Is this memory a teacher or a jailer? Is this pressure mine to carry tonight? Almost always, intensity drops when you look with soft eyes. If emotion still swells, let the body help. Shake out your hands, roll your shoulders, stretch your hips, sigh audibly. Place a hand on your heart and say the words you wish someone would say to you. You did your best today. We can try again tomorrow. Right now, you are safe. Your biology listens. The breath deepens. The body trusts your leadership. Now we arrive at the generous part of the evening, the part where you build. Not for your boss, not to impress strangers, but for the person you are becoming. 2 focused hours a night can accumulate into a new identity. You do not need to invent a perfect plan. You need a clear, simple target for today. For 40 minutes, I will practice listening and shadowing. For 30 minutes, I will write 500 words. For 20 minutes, I will outline a small lesson. For 30 minutes, I will research one step for my side project. Decide before you begin so you do not spend your energy negotiating with yourself. Work in a rhythm that respects your brain. 50 minutes of focused effort, 10 minutes of rest. Repeat. During the focus, remove the options that usually steal your attention. Put the phone in another room, close extra tabs, silence notifications, work at a cleared surface. During the break, step away, walk, stretch, drink water, look out a window. When you return, begin exactly where you left off. The point is not heroism, it is reliability. The person who shows up most nights wins the future everyone else says they want. Because this is Daily English Voices, weave language practice through your 2 hour block like a thread you can feel with your fingers. Start with 10 minutes of listening at a comfortable speed. Shadow the same passage once for rhythm, once for pronunciation, once for memory. Record yourself, yes, really, and listen like a kind coach. What one sound could I soften tomorrow? Which phrase felt natural in my mouth? Then write a short journal entry that uses those phrases in your life. Tonight I learned, tomorrow I will. I'm proud that I end with an easy dialogue spoken out loud. Ask and answer your own questions in the mirror. It may feel odd at first, but that odd feeling is exactly where growth lives. In 5 to 10 evenings, you will hear the difference. Your voice steadier, your pauses shorter, your confidence less fragile. Do not forget the human side of the night. We are not machines that charge alone in a dark room. We are social beings whose nervous systems calm when they feel seen. Offer someone a real moment of presence, a phone free conversation at the kitchen table, a call where you listen more than you talk, a message that contains a vulnerable sentence instead of a performance. Ask a question that opens a door. What felt heavy today? What made you smile? And step through that door with care. Or, if you live alone or need solitude, write a letter you will never send to someone you love or someone you miss. The point is not to fix, but to connect. When you invest your attention in relationships at night, your mornings are lighter. Your body sleeps deeper because it has proof that you are not carrying life by yourself. As the evening leans towards sleep, bring your awareness to the body that carried you. You do not need a long routine. You need a few minutes of respect. Roll your neck slowly. Circle the shoulders. Stretch the back like a cat. Fold forward and let your arms hang, not to reach your toes, but to tell your spine it can soften. Kneel into a long stretch and breathe down into your belly. Lie on your back, pull your knees gently toward your chest, and exhale longer than you inhale. Your breath is a language your nervous system understands without translation. A steady, slow exhale whispers, "We are safe now." If you enjoy scents, choose something light. If you like sound, choose something soft. Dim the lights earlier than you think you need to. Put your phone to sleep in another room like a child who needs a consistent bedtime. And then this may feel strange, thank your body out loud. Thank you for carrying me. I'm sorry for the stress I put you through today. You can relax now. The body has been waiting to hear those words. Sleep is not the absence of consciousness. It is the final chapter of a well-written day. Choose a bedtime that respects your biology and protect it the way you would protect an appointment with someone you admire. Half an hour before that time, begin a simple closing ritual. Tidy the surfaces. Brush your teeth slowly instead of like a task you are trying to escape. Write 3 short lines in your journal. What you learned, what you released, what you appreciate. If a worry arrives late, give it a page and a promise. I will look at you after breakfast. Then lie down and breathe in an easy pattern. Inhale for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 7, repeating until your thoughts blur at the edges. Visualize a morning that begins with enough energy to greet the day without resentment. Picture yourself speaking a few clear sentences in English, nothing dramatic, just natural, confident speech. Feel the feeling of that moment and let it carry you into sleep like a tide carrying a boat toward shore. If you keep this rhythm for a week, you will notice measurable shifts. You will catch yourself reaching for your phone and stopping, not because of guilt, but because you have something better to do. You will find your patience with others growing, not as a performance, but as a result of having given yourself the oxygen you used to withhold. You will hear your voice on recordings and feel a small, proud smile because it sounds more like you, the you who speaks without apologizing for existing. You will discover that strength does not come from grand gestures. It comes from honoring small promises to yourself again and again until you no longer need to wonder if you can be trusted. You will tell the truth more easily. You will forgive yourself faster. You will sleep deeper, wake clearer, and carry a steadier mind into the hours when others are already rushing. Of course, not every evening will unfold perfectly. Some days will spill over, some emergencies will press on your schedule, some moods will color the sky. On those nights, the ritual does not disappear. It compresses. 2 minutes to close the loops, 2 minutes to breathe, 2 minutes to tidy one small space, 2 minutes to read a paragraph aloud, 2 minutes to whisper, I release this day. Imperfect practice is not a failure. It is the bridge that carries you from chaos to consistency. Rituals are not about control, they are about return. You return to yourself, to your priorities, to your sleep, to your softness, to your strength. You return to language not as a test you fear, but as a tool you enjoy. There is a quiet kind of ambition living in this evening, the ambition to become reliable to yourself. When you are reliable to yourself, you do not fear the judgment of strangers. When you are reliable to yourself, you do not chase motivation à la carte. You create momentum on a schedule. When you are reliable to yourself, you stop bargaining with your dreams as if they were optional and start building them like they are inevitable. That reliability is built one night at a time. It is built when you sit down and write the sentence you promised to write. It is built when you keep the phone dark and the book open. It is built when you choose tenderness over self attack, breath over panic, presence over performance. It is built in the unphotographed hours when you perform not for an audience, but for your future self, who will wake up grateful that you cared. If something in you is stirring now, if a piece of this evening feels like a missing instruction you've been searching for, do not let the feeling evaporate into the next notification. Choose one act for tonight and do it. Close the loops on paper, read a page and shadow a paragraph. Call someone and offer them 15 undistracted minutes. Stand, roll your shoulders, and give your body a long exhale. Set your phone to sleep early and make a small space ready for tomorrow's work. Then, before you turn out the light, thank yourself. Gratitude is not cliche when it is practiced. It is nourishment. Say, I showed up for me tonight. Say it even if all you managed was 5 minutes of breathing and one soft sentence in your journal. 5 minutes compounded across a year becomes a different nervous system, a different attention, a different voice. Here at Daily English Voices, we are building more than vocabulary lists and pronunciation drills. We are building an ecosystem where language grows naturally from a calmer mind and a steadier life. If you want this practice to anchor your weeks, subscribe and turn on the bell so that each new episode arrives when the evening opens. Bring a notebook, bring your voice, bring the ordinary days that don't look special from the outside and become sacred from the inside. We will meet you there night after night until the habits are yours and the confidence is quiet and the progress is undeniable. Your evenings are not the end of your day, they are the beginning of your future. Treat them with the respect you usually reserve for other people's emergencies. Guard them with the same care you give to your most important relationships. Use them to heal what the day bruised, to build what the day delayed, to practice the language that will carry your ideas into rooms you have not yet entered. And when the world tells you to scroll the night away, smile gently and return to your path. You are not escaping life, you are shaping it. Tonight, close the apps in your mind. Release the weight you don't need to carry across the border into sleep. Put one small space in order. Name one small win. Offer one real moment to someone or to yourself. Breathe like safety is possible because it is. Build for an hour if you can, for 10 minutes if you can't. End with thanks. Then sleep as if rest were part of your job, because for a human being who wants to grow, it is. When morning comes, it will find you different. Not dramatic, not viral, not a stranger to yourself, just steady. And the steady person is the one who changes everything. Keep going. I'm proud of you.